it's Jennifer and welcome back to my Flagstaff home. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really yummy tomato sauce. It's a sauce, but anyway, it's from using your fresh tomatoes in your garden. Of course, if you don't grow tomatoes in your garden, you can always get tomatoes at the store, but I would encourage you to do this in the summer when tomatoes are in season, because most of you know this, when you buy tomatoes during the winter, they taste like nothing. So I have a ton of tomatoes out in my garden right now, and just thought I would make a small batch of this tomatoey, garlicky kind of sauce, and it's slow cooked, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. I have several kinds of tomatoes. Now you could just use all one kind. These are golden pear cherry tomatoes. These are called Flamme, and Flamme, I believe that's how it's pronounced. These are black cherry tomatoes, and these tiny little things are called currant tomatoes, and they, no bigger than a pearl, but they pack a punch with their flavor. It's amazing. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the little tiny currant tomatoes this size. All the other ones I'm going to cut in half. Okay, next, what I'm doing is just frying up some garlic. So you put a couple of tablespoons of olive oil and heat that up, and then you put in a few tablespoons. Actually, I probably put maybe a little over a tablespoon of garlic. This is just garlic out of a jar. You could use fresh garlic as well, chopped up. And since I'm using a relatively few number of tomatoes, it really got all steamed up. I'm not putting in as much. Like, you just kind of have to adjust the amount of oil and the amount of garlic based on how many tomatoes you have. Pour that mixture into a medium-sized casserole dish. So I have a set of 3, and so this is not the very smallest, but it's also not the biggest. Now I'm going to add the tomatoes. So I'm putting in the little currant tomatoes, and I added all the other ones. These larger, the Flamme ones, they're golf ball sized. I actually quartered those because I felt like they just were a little bit too big. But most of this is going to break down anyway. When it's all done, it's going to sort of look like the tomatoes just melted. So I'm going to just stir this up to make sure that the olive oil and the garlic gets all mixed in. While I'm doing this, my oven is heating up to a very low temperature. I'm only heating my oven to 275. So obviously my sauce is going to come out with, different colors in it. It will be, all one color. If you chose all orange or all yellow tomatoes in there, it's really up to you. But look how pretty this one looks. I'm so excited to see how all these different flavors, like this one has a real deep tomato flavor. This orange one, that's a little bit more sweet. So yeah, it's going to be fun to see. Now I'm not adding any other spices or salt at this point. That comes after this roasts in the oven. And so I'm going to put this in the oven right now, as I mentioned before, at 275, and I'm going to cover it, and then it's going to sit in there at 275 for a total of 2 hours. But a half hour before it's done, I'm going to add a pinch of salt and about a tablespoon of chopped basil. You could use dried basil if you want to, but if you have fresh, that's best. It has been in the oven for an hour and a half, and so now is the time to add a pinch of salt and about a tablespoon of chopped fresh basil. If you're going to use dried basil, then you want to use half a tablespoon. Okay, so now I'm just going to stir this in. You can see that I don't have a ton of tomatoes in here. You can make a larger batch. You'll just need to adjust your garlic, basil, salt, all of that. So I'm just stirring that in, and now it goes back in the oven for a half hour, and that will be the end of it, and then I'll show you how I store it. Now it is all finished. It smells heavenly. So you can use this right now. You could take it at this point and just spoon it over, whatever you're going to use, or you can put it in let it cool off first, and then put it in a mason jar and store it in the refrigerator. You can't take this through the regular canning process because it has oil in it, but you can keep it in your refrigerator for several months. The longer it stays in the refrigerator, the more the tomatoes will actually break down, and it'll become a, much more smooth sauce, although it's not going to be smooth because, you're going to have tomato pieces. But this is amazing, and you can spoon it over some chicken or put it on pasta, maybe spoon it over some grilled vegetables. Just a yummy way to preserve the flavors of summer. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll try the recipe. Remember, you don't have to grow your own tomatoes. You can buy these at the grocery store and do this recipe. But anyway, give it a try and let me know what you think. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I hope I'll see you again on my Flagstaff home. Take care, you guys. Bye.